more than a game.
Finals are upon us. Unbelievable first week of the finals, and I'll tell you what, North Melbourne in the premiership race up to their neck. Brad Scott to join us live.
Yeah, it's going to be great, as is this man. When the finals come around, he is on fire. Dave Hughes is live on the panel.
Best newsman in football is Damien Barrett. He'll be along with a whole heap of news that no one else has heard or knows about, and he's going to tell you first tonight.
Sam Newman, street talk in St Albans, if you don't mind. It gets nice and weird.
And the final edition of the Big Bill House is here. It's very late in the night. It gets very, very grumpy, and Shane Crawford's at his annoying best. You're going to see that tonight. Very, very shortly. There's nudity involved. It gets really ugly, Jimmy boy.
All right, guys, let's get the panel straight out so we can get stuck into it. What about this man? Three-time premiership superstar of the Cats, Joel Selwood, the skipper, is on the Footy Show. And making his debut from the GWS Giants, Heath Shaw is here tonight. Put your hands together for the heater. And speaking of premiership stars, from the Hawks, Shane Crawford is on the Footy Show.
A star-studded panel to get you going for the second week of the finals.
Not happy with that promo. You told me if I went nude in the Big Bill House, you wouldn't show
Oh,
us.
because we wanted you nude in the Big Bill House, Shane.
Well...
So that's coming up later in the night when it gets over the PG rating. But don't interrupt, Shane, because I've got to introduce the most important man here. That's what he tells us. Been here since day one, and when the finals come round, he goes up a notch. Please welcome John Sammy Newman. They love you. The people love you.
No, they don't. They because there's a big applause sign over there. Says applause. Now we don't. I'll sit.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We don't give. We get a lot of mail and faxes and email.
We've never had a fax.
And blogs and Twitters and crunches and grinders and Tinders from people saying we don't give, or I don't, a lot of. Oxygen to the Western Australia, our friends in Western Australia, the doctors in the West Coast.
Exactly. They're having a weekend off, ready to go.
And here's my next thing.
Right.
How ridiculous that there's going to be no preliminary final here in the best stadium in the world.
Well,
That's in Melbourne, Australia. Because why wouldn't you have a game played in the best stadium in the world here, no matter where you come from?
Because they've won the right to have a home prelim final.
This is my point, Jim Bob.
A poor one.
What?
A poor point.
No, but when you sign the contractual arrangement with anyone who's playing in this competition, we must say that there is going to be a preliminary final played in Melbourne no matter what.
No, we don't. We don't.
That's A. And B,
what?
If the West Coast and the Dockers do get through to the grand final, if you are a supporter of theirs, don't bother coming over because the city will be shut. Oh. It will be. It will be. Dan, our leader, Andrews, has declared a public holiday.
Yeah, the city will be jumping, regardless
to be nailed up.
No, it won't.
Yeah, last time Freo were in the grand final, there was a purple haze right through the city, but it's been Western Australian domination. We've got Freo, West Coast 1-2, Josh Kennedy, Coleman medal, Hogan, Paddy Cripps, Dom Sheed in the Rising Star,
That's right,
Western Australia, Brownlow medal, Prentice Fife. It is absolute domination, Western Australia.
That's right, and why wouldn't you play a game over here on
the
second most important week of our football calendar? There's no game played at the MCG.
We've established that we're not going to have one, and that's a good thing for the national competition for us. Now, just be quiet while I introduce for the very first time ever, 22 years this show's been going, the first time we've had a panellist from the GWS Giants. Heath Shaw's here. And let's say off the top, congratulations on an outstanding year. Best and fairest, if you don't mind, for the Giants this year. Excited about that?
Moving up to the Giants a couple of years ago,
28 years old, surrounded by 21-year-olds. Didn't think I'd win a best and fairest, and yeah, stoked to get it and had a great night.
Well, clearly you didn't think you were going to win because we got a photo of you afterwards and you're sleeping with the medal there. Heater, what's that about?
Yeah, I don't think many people can say they slept with Kevin Sheedy, but I slept with the Kevin Sheedy medal there, so yeah, it was pretty good.
How'd you see the year? 11 wins, 11 losses. At one stage, I think you were 7-3, and it looked like you might be set for a finals appearance yourself. So how have you rated it?
Yeah, probably the first half of the year was probably an 8 out of 10. And the second half was probably a 4. So we fell away. We didn't win enough games to get into the finals, but overall it was a good year for us on and off the field. Signing up guys and winning games of footy is always good, but bigger and better things to come from the Giants.
Is that the recurring issue with the young list? Is that by the back end of the season they're cooked?
Oh, I just think consistency over week to week with young guys who haven't been in big pressure games. They need to learn how to play in those games. Joel's played in heaps. I played a fair few at Collingwood, but they just got to learn how to win when times get tough.
And you've got to keep them. That's the other thing, Ethan. You've lost a few. Trelaw's on his way out the door. Cam McCarthy, we were told last week by Damo, he wants out. What's going on there?
No, I think Cam's signed for 2 years, so he's staying.
He don't want to stay.
But he's staying. He has to stay. So no, with Adzi, it was always going to be hard to keep them all. We signed, I think, 11 guys this year, and he's sort of been the one that's been squeezed out. He's been great for the club. He comes second in the best and fairest behind me. But yeah, he's a good player, and wherever he ends up, he'll be a good player for them.
Heath, very good on Twitter. Puts up a few photos.
Prolific.
Of everything. Put some of yourself on there, and have a look at this. This is before, during, and after your footy career. That's what you're saying you're going to look like in a few years' time. Is that right?
Yeah, that's after the career's done or in the off season.
You take a lateral approach to footy, which is what we love about you, and you went and did a press conference, and this might be some advice for Jolie Selwood, who gets beaten around the head a fair bit when he plays, and you turned up in a press conference with a cricket helmet on.
Yeah, just obviously waiting for AFL approval for the new headwear, but and, yeah, as long as Leon picks me, I've ticked all the boxes.
You've got to amuse yourself sometimes, mate.
Yeah, but it's a pretty serious game if you can't poke fun at yourself. Who can you poke fun at?
Yes, go for it.
You left. Now, did you not leave Collingwood under sort of acrimonious circumstances? Would you say you've had the last laugh on them?
I don't know what that word means, but
acrimonious. A little bit of tension, a little bit of angst.
Yeah,
angst is another word you mightn't be familiar with.
No, it's a bit shorter. That's all right. No, it was the way it panned out wasn't ideal for me. But 2 years on, I'm pretty happy.
You're laughing?
Yeah, laughing a lot with the best and fairest medal. So no, I'm at the time I wasn't really happy with it, but now it's the best thing for my footy. And yeah, looking forward to the next few years up at the Giants.
Player profile. What do you have for breakfast? You said you have 14 raw eggs for breakfast. Is that true?
Yeah, it's an expensive breakfast.
And disgusting.
Just read up on, Arnold Schwarzenegger has the raw eggs. He has 3 or 4, so I thought I'd just take it to the extreme.
Sylvester Stallone, Rocky?
Yeah, so it works for them, it works for me.
Yeah, right. Well, I actually hold a world record. Most eggs cracked with a very large brain. There you go. Still hold that world record, but I reckon later in the show, Sam, if you are up for it, I have the raw eggs. I'll put 14 in one cup, 14 in another, and the first to scull it will be crowned Footy Show champion of the world.
Just in case you're thinking of staying up to watch me do it, I can tell you I'm not doing it. This is no tease. I won't be doing it. So when you think it's time to go to bed, just wander off because I won't be doing it.
Let's have a go.
I will not be doing it.
All right. If you don't say yes, I'll ping this in your head right now. Say yes.
Go on.
No, take me on later in the show.
No.
Why don't you do 7 each? Not 14, 17.
Take me on
Shane,
later in the
don't
show.
say
Come on.
Hey,
Come
Don't
on.
be silly, Shane.
Shane.
Shane, enough.
Hey.
Enough.
Rarely do we pull rank on you.
Never flinched. Did you see that?
What did you say, Gary?
Rarely do we pull rank on you.
Stop being silly.
Don't do that again.
I'm throwing like Jim at the moment.
Stop being
All right, sit down, you. We'll sort out the challenge a little later. Don't throw another
Never
one. Joel
flinched.
Selwood's
Did you
here.
notice?
Great to have the champion, Joel. Joel. I'm putting you in charge of him, not
Mate,
throwing.
I'm really a bit nervous here, sitting in the middle, but two of them. But
Hey, unfamiliar territory for you, mate. First time in your career, September's rolled around, you haven't been involved. How's that?
yeah, well, it didn't sit too easy. I obviously sat back on the weekend, watched the games. Thoroughly enjoyed the games that were on. But yeah, obviously we've got to go back, work on a lot of things, and get ready for next year. And this probably the first time in a long time has given us a good go to get ready at a season and do it properly.
And lots happening at the footy club in the back half of the year. Lost three of your all-time greats in Stokesy and James Kelly and Stevie J all announced their retirements. As captain, were you consulted in the process? And what's your feeling about the three of them? Do you think you might be lining up against any one of them anytime soon?
Well, yeah, I'm really unsure whether we'll be lining up against them. Just at the moment, it was a tough end to the year, I can say that. Like, it was very emotional to go through. I mean, played with these guys for 9 years, as he said. And, you know, just legends of the footy club, but also great mates. And you can talk about all their skill and talent and all that, but you just enjoyed going out and playing with them, the competitors, and get the most out of them, and they got the most out of you. So we heard retirement speech after retirement speech that final week, and just each of them just brought this sort of raw emotion to the group that was that made it tough for everyone. I mean, the coach was feeling it, and just all through the footy club. But they ended up and having a field day themselves, and the Geelong faithful really showed them the way out too. It was a beautiful send-off.
Hey, Sal, I think we know that Stokes and Kelly, are not going to continue playing. So Stevie J is the one that's of interest on this front, whether he goes around with someone else or whether he's played his last game of AFL footy. Would you prefer that he doesn't play again and be a one club player, or what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, to me, like I've seen players that have gone on, Chappie in the past, Josh Hunt in the past, and a number of others. Really, it just sits with the individual on how they go about it. It'll obviously be tough coming up against them, coming up against Stevie especially, the competitor of the years. Obviously very good on the chat too, so he'll probably have a fair bit to say, and not only to senior boys but also the younger boys that may have taken his position for next year. But you know, if he does go on, we wish him all the best. But I think we all saw him up here last week as an emotional guy, and he's looking forward to get that part over with, and then he'll make his decision from there.
Now, you said at the start we'd have to work on a number of things. What would be the main thing we'd have to work on?
The main thing, well, we didn't play that much good footy as a group this year.
So how do you overcome that?
I can't tell you all my secrets.
How do you overcome not playing good
Well,
footy?
we had 10 new players in last year. We'll have 10 new players in at the end of this year. So we have to gel as a football club, as a football team, and we have to do it sooner the better, so that we, you know, go into season 2016 in a really good space.
Tell us about, just once the footy season's over, you get a whole lot of things done. You have babies, you get married, and your brother has proposed to his then girlfriend Fiona in a fashion that has put pressure on males and footballers all around the country. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, he sure has. He obviously booked out a cinema through his management company over there, and had both families there. And anyway, he had a little sort of the titles that come on at the start, and he said, I need to go out to the toilet. While he did that, he went behind the screen and obviously watched on. So my mum and little brother were there, and then Fiona's parents were there, and family. And he ended up having a little slideshow on, and it went in from a picture of me and him on the football field, one chapter closing, another one starts, and proposed to her after a nice little song and titles after that. So hard to beat.
It's a beautiful thing. Jimmy boy, am I enforced? You went through it a few times. Anything that compares to that?
Any of your three into a cinema force and a little slideshow?
I give you a sort of a backhanded way that it... this is true, and the person wouldn't be watching this. I was tracking square with this woman after I'd had 3 goes at it, and I think we'd had a number of daiquiris this particular night, and we were chatting about the international wheat agreement or something, all that stuff. And she was of the query, did you think we would be getting betrothed? And I just said, would you like to be the 4th Mrs. Newman? That took the wind right out of the sails. That wound up the conversation forthwith.
I think we might have an exclusive.
We've got, you don't even know we've got this force. We've actually got a photo of one of your proposals. So there you are. Turn on bended knee force. That's one of the more recent ones.
I'm going to keep moving. Brad Scott, the coach of the Kangaroos, is going to get here very, very shortly. We want to get him on nice and early. He's got a lot of work to do. What are the feedback that's coming
We've got a
through?
bit of feedback coming through. This is from Crowie on Facebook. Hey, Croft, I love seeing the Tigers knocked out of the finals. It's best because memes like this come up. Have a look at that. Fact, Fitzroy has still won more finals than Richmond since 1982. Oh, that's a bit harsh. So, fair enough, one door has shut, and it actually went a little like this. Kevin Maybell on Twitter said, Crawford, I was down the park the other day and I saw Gary's dog Crosby hanging out with his mates. Good to see Gary keeping them all warm with a Montclair jacket. Is that true?
There it is.
Good one, Shane. Good feedback. I've also got feedback of a photo that got sent in through the week, and this is, I don't think we've ever seen this, Jimmy boy. Our great man here, the Forsall, played his 300th game and famously started the game on the interchange bench. Now, this is during the game. I'm not sure of the other. Is that John Mossop, one of those?
John Mossop.
Yep. And who's the other player, you know? Oh, that's not a player, it's an official.
That's John Russell, the fit head, Terry Hogan and Dr. Kevin Trelfel on the extreme left.
So I can see John Mossop heavily involved in the game, but you decided to pose.
That's it.
Just pose for the camera before the
Bloke came up and said, look here, and I looked there. What did you want me to do?
2 minutes to go and your boots were still clean.
I hadn't been on at that stage, Shane.
We are going to take a break. It's a very big footy show, of course. Finals. They've got 2 big games to have a look at. But Brad Scott, the coach of the North Melbourne Footy Club, is going to join us next.
Tonight on the Footy Show, the finals are firing, and we have superstar Kangaroos coach Brad Scott in live. Plus, our man Dave Hughes wanders in with plenty of stuff that's caught his eye, and it's the last instalment of Big Bill 3. There's been acting, arguments, and tonight, awful artwork. What's this bit here? I don't really see what
you paint something different.
Plus, it's Sam's final Street Talk of the year, and we're all wondering what he's going to ask. Where will he end up?
And which poor person Sam Newman will bail up on Street Talk next?
So true, Big Tone. Must be nice to have time to watch the Force in action.
Are you still the naughty boy of the football team?
Naughty? Oh, no.
So join the party tonight on the Footy Show.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Thanks to Nissan, the all-new Nissan MP300 Navara. Powerful, mate, clever. Home, timber and harbour. Go where the tradies go. Sportsbet.com.au. Download the mobile app today. Very nice. 6 teams left in the race for the 2015 Premiership, and all sorts of pressure on all sides going into the first week of the finals, but none more so than on the Kangaroos. When you make a decision to rest 9 players in round 23, you're putting it all on the line, and the Kangaroos came out and did a number on the Tigers, and they live to fight another day. The coach of the Kangaroos joins us. Please welcome Brad Scott.
Well done, mate. Well done, the best.
Got it? Very nice to see you, Bradley.
Thank you.
There was pressure on everyone at this time of year. All teams were under pressure, as we said, but you did make a brave decision, and in your mind, the correct decision to rest players coming into round 23. Win, you're a genius, and you sit here. Lose, then you'd probably still be copping it. How much of a relief was it in the end?
Oh, look, I was just for our supporters and players. I thought it was a great day for our club. But, I mean, we make all sorts of decisions that we're going to be judged on, on a daily basis, let alone weekly and yearly. And we live by those decisions. We make the best decision with the information we've got at hand. And clearly we thought we needed, or a certain number of players needed a spell. And, if we're vindicated or not, I'll let other people be the judge.
21 points behind twice through the course of the game, and you did run over the top of them. Are you able to put any sort of measurement on whether or not it had an impact, or having spoken to the playing group?
Oh, the players certainly felt pressure, and I think that these guys would know that most players come the end of the season, they're carrying some sort of niggle, and the rest can do them good. And we had consecutive 6-day breaks going into the final, so we were conscious of getting our players in the best shape. But we thought that even though we were behind, we controlled the game for large parts, even though Richmond had spells where they clearly had the momentum and played really well. So it was a tight-fought final and probably played the way a final should be.
Scotty, you've said for a long time internally and now for a fair while externally that you needed to build a list and a game style that was going to stand up in September. Won 3 of the last 4. There yet, or still lots of work to do?
No, it's still clearly work to do. I think when you look at the best sides in the competition and the sides that have consistently finished in the top 4. I think we've got a fair bit to prove against those sides. But we've played a game style that we think is going to be September type footy, and that will hold up. And at times we've been blown away. I think 4 or 5 years ago we were blown away by the really good sides. But we wanted to keep playing the same style rather than just try and hold up defensively and have honourable losses. So that's resulted in some pretty disappointing performances. But we've all been building towards playing this type of footy, in September when it counts.
It's still relatively young in coaching terms. I reckon you're still learning every day. I imagine that's the case. I want to ask you about the period where you missed the 4 weeks with major back surgery. So you had to take a step back. You were bedridden. You couldn't do much except watch footy from the lounge room. The perception is you came back from that period and took a harder stance with the playing group. Is that fair? Is that the perception or the reality? And if so, how did that come about?
I think it's fair to a certain extent, but it wasn't necessarily harder or softer. It was just a different perspective. And when you get caught up in the day-to-day grind of AFL coaching, you spend a hell of a lot of time working on your job, but not a lot of time observing from the outside. And watching the game on TV, I had a completely different perspective. I had time to reflect on what we were doing and where we were going. And I came back with some pretty clear focuses on what we needed to do and what we needed to fix. And probably the biggest thing to come out of that was just the fact that we couldn't rely on just our best players getting us over the line each week. It wasn't going to be consistent. And when you play really good teams in finals, you need a really even contribution. So we redefined some roles, and so far so good.
Speaking of good players, the game starts in the centre, and every time a goal is kicked by either side, it recommences in the centre. To that end, Todd Goldstein has been grand. Why has he been grand?
I think I might know where you're going here, Sam.
No,
I think we should.
Not at all. Don't say that.
We should tell all the audience.
Shouldn't. No, I didn't ask that.
Take some credit. Take some credit. I know that Goldie got a phone call from you a couple of years ago. And if Goldie's going to be honest, he's going to give the credit where the credit's due.
Hey, Brad, did you know that the game was starting in the middle of the ground? Is that something you learned?
Well, it was a preamble to why it is so important to have a winning tap ruckman, Shane, you imbecile.
Now, not only are you in charge of the players, you're also in charge of what goes on the banner. And on the weekend for the Tigers, it was Tigers don't win finals, we do. Is that right? You gave that the big tick, said let's go get them?
I prefer the other side where it said North Melbourne welcomes refugees, but you want to show that bit? Or?
No.
It's far too political for Shane, Brad. Don't ask him those questions. Just get back. So I understand what you're saying when you come back. So you got a different perspective on things, and I guess from the outside we can only look at it and see the action. So I think Lindsay Thomas was dropped not long after you got back. Boomer was made a sub not long after you got back. So were they subtle messages or not so subtle messages that you wanted to send to those guys?
I don't think they were subtle messages. I think they were pretty clear. But the feedback's really consistent to all those players. And in Boomer's case, I mean, it wasn't. People looked at it as a punishment. Everyone had their view on why he was made sub. We've been talking about making Boomer a sub for years, and when we got the indication from the AFL they were going to phase it out, we thought, well, we better have a look at it. And, you know, Boomer has been, I think he reflects what I'm talking about, where he's carried our football club on his diminutive shoulders for a long time, and we couldn't continue to do that. You know, going into next season as a 38-year-old, we needed to spread the load a lot more and redefine some other roles. And within that, he needed to know that he needed to just play his role for the team and not have 35 possessions every week.
Hey, Scott, a couple of players I think have been really, really important. Emerging player in Taylor Garner, who's had enormous injury issues, but has managed to string half a season together, and I think all North Melbourne fans are really excited by what they see from him. And Robbie Tarrant, who's played about as many games, but has been at the club for 8 years. But a breakout year for him, 21 games, and starting to really clunk it as a defender and deliver on enormous talent.
Yeah, and terrific that Robbie Tarrant, as a restricted free agent, was willing to re-sign with us for 4 years. We've stuck by Robbie through thick and thin, and he's doing the same with us now. So we've always thought that if Robbie got a fair go at it and some continuity in his footy, he'd show what he can do. And he's had an outstanding year for us as a genuine fullback, and that's allowed Scotty Thompson, Lockie Hansen to play slightly different roles.
And I reckon Garnes, given the way you went about your footy, would be, if not your favourite, certainly one of them, because he's got some nice mongrel about him.
Yeah, he loves the scrap, he loves the contest, and I think he'll be a fan favourite, let alone, you know, a coach's favourite. And all North Melbourne people just love the way he goes about it. Doesn't take a backward step, and you know, he was a first-round draft pick and got some genuine talent, but it's the competitiveness that I love.
You finished with the Dorothy Dix questions, have you, Jim? Anything else you'd like to just offer him so that he can let go?
Joel's ready to go.
I know, he's ready
Brad,
to go.
there's probably one guy that's doing it tough for the footy club at the moment. It's probably Daniel Wells. Is he close or...?
Oh, it's a really tough question, Joel. He's making really good progression. He actually came back and played in the VFL, played 2 games and had an unrelated calf injury, which is not related to his Achilles, but it's another injury, and that's probably a reflection of the lack of conditioning he'd had up until playing. But we're still optimistic that he'll get enough work in, that if we're good enough and we keep winning, that he may be available next week to play. But he'll have to push some good players out. We've got a pretty fit and available list at the moment. But clearly, at his best, he's one of the best players in the game.
Scotty, stick with us. Let's have a look at this game. You might get some insights from Heath Shaw over there as an expert on this game of football. Sydney taking on North Melbourne. If you don't mind, Saturday night, ANZ Stadium. The winner goes through to the prelim final. The Swans, of course, were brave. They went down by 9 points to Freo. Another 5 minutes they might have got there in the end. Nick Smith comes in, Sam Reid out with a hamstring. So no Reid, no Franklin in that forward line. They take on the Kangaroos. Go. Defeated Richmond by 17 points last Sunday at the MCG. Wait was great with 4, Peachy with 2, Bremer with 2. Unchanged going into this big game up at ANZ Stadium. Get some thoughts from the boys. Joel.
Start with me, guys. Yeah, I watched both games last week, and Josh Kennedy was the heartbeat for Sydney. He played so well. Losing Reid will definitely hurt him down forward, especially with Buddy and Luke Park already being out. So I have North Melbourne winning.
Ooh, nice. Peter?
Yeah, obviously, Sydney have been hit by injury and all that the last few weeks. Got to kick a winning score against North, who were very impressive on the weekend. Love watching that game. So for me, heart says Sydney, because obviously the brothers there, but North is going to be a very, very good game.
Nice, Peter.
Very good. Look, Sydney obviously very brave last week. I'll tell you one guy I like for you, or I like all your team, but Ben Brown, the big Tasmanian. Just got a great work ethic, keeps pushing up and down, and very underrated. I like the way he goes about it. ANZ Stadium, hopefully this will be the last game ever of AFL football there, because it's a bit of a tip. But I'm tipping North Melbourne in a bit of an upset to win.
Very nice, Shane.
Also, guys, obviously Reece Shaw, we know he's a premiership player. We're going to have a look at some footage here where he did win the premiership. And have a look at these louts in the background. One would be Heath. Just giving it to him. Obviously had a few too many on the day. What are you actually saying there, Heath, to your brother?
I've got no idea. Your guess is as good as mine there. Looks like I won the premiership, I reckon. Yeah, I was pretty excited.
Obviously very tight. He didn't even come over towards you. He just went off.
He didn't give us much there, did he? He was go about his business, and yeah, we're pretty pumped that day.
He's been a great servant, and we wish him well. Hopefully, for his sake, he can extend it beyond this week, but he's announced his retirement, so well done to Reece Shaw on a fantastic career. They're going to have to do something a bit different, Brad, from a forward line point of view. I know they had 25 scoring shots last week, only kicked 7 goals, no Reid, no Franklin. What are you expecting from that forward half?
Well, I thought Fremantle did a good job of pushing them wide, and look, Sydney are usually a relatively easy side to plan for because they've been so good over such a long period of time. They don't need to change much. This week presents a completely different challenge. Their forward line, I think, is really unpredictable, and that is a bit of a worry for a coach, for an opposition coach, because we don't know exactly what we're going to face. Probably a little bit smaller than usual, but we think we've got a really flexible defence, so I don't think we'll change too much in how we defend. But the smaller Sydney forwards are certainly going to be a danger.
Yes, I mean, you got 3 who are 193 centimetres plus, and Spud Frito's 189. So, I mean, if they do go real small, do you back those boys in, or do you have to throw that around?
Oh, no, we'll back them in. Scotty Thompson, we've been wanting him to play small for a long time, but just the lack of Robbie Tarrant type has meant that he's had to play above his height and weight. So we think we've got 7 or 8 guys that can play back there, and we'll throw it around a little bit depending on what Sydney do. But it's again, I mean, Isaac Heaney's had a terrific year. Gary Rowan's a really good up and coming young player. So there's going to be enough challenges there for us to confront.
Oh, and 10 of the last 11, they've won the Swans and humiliated us in this ground last year. So there's not a Dorothy Dix. That's absolutely...
You two, look, get a room, you two.
I was just pointing out that we got poleaxe when we played there last
let's
year.
go through the whole list. Now, go on. Anyone else we've missed?
I wasn't talking
I want to ask you a question. Did he answer that?
No.
No, good. Well, go ahead. What was the question?
You interrupted it. Go and ask your question.
I got a question for you.
Go on.
As long as they're football-related matters, do you have any problem with the crowd booing players from either side on the day?
No, I have a problem with serial booing of Adam Goods, and have had right from the start, because I think it's a totally inappropriate way to handle a champion of our
So if
game.
Todd Goldstein is lining up for goal to win the game, would you worry that the Swans crowd would boo him?
No.
And vice versa, if Adam Goods was lining up for goal?
No, because we know with Adam there's another dimension to it, which is unsavoury, and I don't agree with that, and haven't from the start.
Got a weak answer. Now listen.
Yours is a weak approach because you know that it's just populist. No, it's rubbish.
Here's another good question. Now you're going gangbusters, mate, and your contract is up next year. Would you think it would be time now to tiptoe into the President's office and ask for an incremental increase and an extension? And would you be expecting that to happen sooner rather than later?
No, we'll do it the way we've always done it.
When is that?
Always, Sam. Probably sometime before the contract comes up in the next at the end of 2016.
No.
But we'll make,
Mate,
in all honesty, I mean, we'll make a decision that is best for the football club, not best for me, not best for anyone else. I mean, we've set the example with Brent Harvey, with the message we sent there, and we'll do the same with me.
Brad, that is nonsense, mate. It's it's in the best interest of you is what you make a decision, and you'll be sought after because there's a few jobs going to be up for grabs next year.
Yeah, which ones?
I think you make your club and you build your culture around teammanship and what players do for their club, and if that example's not set from the top down, then you can't ask your players to follow the same example.
He has a much more selfless attitude
Exactly
than you, Samuel, and he's to be applauded for it. Let me tell you, footy tickets to the grand final are always very hard to find, but if you want to get along, secure your seat at the Blackwoods North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast package. Will run out very quickly. Head to nmfc.com.au and kick off your morning at the iconic event before heading to the big game. Jim will be there going head-to-head with Malcolm Turnbull. nmfc.com.au or call 1300 Kangaroos to secure your seat now. Bradley.
And Bill Shorten.
Oh, hold on. It is a very busy time, and we appreciate... You got one more, have you?
No, I was going to give you a tip.
Oh, go on then.
Sorry, I'm very sorry.
What's your tip?
Because we hang out for that.
I don't believe the Swans can kick as badly. That was a disgrace last week, and I reckon, I reckon the Swans will get hold of their kicking skills and might take North Melbourne just over the line.
All right, nicely done. Well, I'm of the opinion that Last year the Kangas went up there on the back of some tough finals. The Swans had the weekend off and they got them at a good time. I think it's almost reversed. The Kangas are fresh. They come back a bit beat up. And I think North Melbourne might beat Sydney on Saturday night. But, yes, thanks, Jim. We do appreciate you coming in, mate. We know how busy it is at this time of year. So much on your plate, but we appreciate you giving up some time and good luck on the weekend.
Appreciate
Brad
it.
Scott.
Thanks, guys.
Basking in the glory of it all. We are going to a break next. Sam, straighten up because it is time for Sam's mailbag when we come back. Stick around. Jeepers! Yes, we're only 2 short weeks away from our 20th grand final show at Rod Laver Arena. As always, it promises to be the biggest show of the year. What about this for an all-star lineup? You one of the best, you got them, the hottest band in the world, Kiss. Gonna blow the roof off Rod Laver Arena, belting out not one but 2 of their rock anthems.
Looking forward to Kiss, Jim. Looking forward to Footy show favourites, the Birds of Tokyo. Be there to launch their brand new single, I'll Go With You Anywhere. It's going to be a smash and bring us home. Aussie rock legend James Rain performing a special melody of his very biggest hits, old Jimmy Boy Rain.
This year's grand final review is a celebration of the best acts of music of the last 20 years. Croft, Nicky Dow, Joe Montagna, Big Drewy, the Pies, Trav Barco, all going to be strutting their stuff along with a stack of other teams, plus the best of Street Talk, the best of Old Man Croft, Dave Sprays, Footy Legends, all of that coming up Thursday, October 1, the grand final footy show from Rod Laver Arena. Get ready. It's going to be absolutely sensational. Welcome back, Docklands. We are now, of course, and we want to say thanks to the all-new NP300 Navara and the Nissan people, great people, are giving you the chance to win 8 VIP tickets so you can bring all your family and friends along to the Grand Final Footy Show. Remember, everyone at the show also goes in the draw to win the all-new Nissan MP300 Navara ST. All you got to do is head to nissan.com.au/AFL and tell us in 50 words or less who would fill the 8 VIP seats with you at the Grand Final Footy Show and why. It's pretty simple, Gaz.
It is, and sold out in just over an hour of the Grand Final Footy Show, so that's the only way to get a ticket. Now, boys, it is finals time. Grand Final's very hard to win. Shane, have you won a Grand Final?
Yes, that's correct.
No, have you won a Grand Final?
Have I won a Grand Final?
Apart from Hawthorn?
As a junior, yes.
Yes. Have you won any?
Yeah, won 4 in a row as a junior.
Yeah, Jolly.
Yeah, won some junior footy.
And a couple of senior smart ass. Forsell, did
Hundreds of them.
No, I was lucky to win 1 in my time. They are hard to win. Now, I want you to have a look at this. This is a very big game between Tweed Heads and Byron Bay in northern New South Wales. Have a look what happens here. The Tweed Head boy kicks a goal. Jim, the siren is about to sound very shortly. They're back in the hunt. They're only a couple of points behind at this stage. Ball goes deep. Siren goes. The Byron Bay boys, massive crowd, have gone absolutely berserk. They've won the game by a point. The grand final. Have a look at the central umpires here, just congregating in the back.
Look at the Collingwood boys are as flat as a biscuit.
Have got together to go down to the scoreboard.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And with a flick, there it goes.
No!
They made a 2-point mistake. And all of a sudden, look at the boys are on about. Yeah, what about that?
No.
That's quite good. Okay.
Well, that's good because they both get to experience that winning feeling.
Oh, the poor old Byron Bay boys, if you're heading up there, just give them a hug.
No, what they're doing.
Sure, they thought they were home. So they
Heading at
hard to win. They had it for about 3 minutes.
Police later investigating a homicide of a couple of people dressed in lycra.
I don't think they are. You've got to push on. It's time now for Sam's mailbag.
Oh, yes. This is from Tobin of
Cottesloe, magnificent beachside suburb in Perth.
Okay. Newman, I reckon you're geriatric. And normally, here's a lesson for you, Shane. If you're going to be a smart... I know you can't see this, but he spelt your, Y-O-U-R. He's forgotten the apostrophe and the RE after it.
Let's not confuse Shane.
Newman, I reckon you're geriatric, out of touch, drivelling and moronic.
Correct.
You know, I'm with you so far. But my sister sends her regards.
There we are.
Knowing you, you'd still be a Tony Abbott supporter. Well, we don't... Tony Abbott is a very decent man, no matter what you think of his politics, so we'll say that. But we always like to keep politics out of the show, and that's what we've been renowned for.
What, like when you walked out as Julia Giddo back in 2010? Like that.
Did we get into trouble for that? Are you allowed to impersonate a woman?
Oh, I've only done it about 800 times on this
that's
show.
all right. Well, that's all right. That didn't look bad, is it?
No, no.
In fact, I'd say...
Oh, no. Don't.
Newman, you and your show don't pay enough respect to Western Australia and our teams. Now, I just said that at the start. It's not that we don't. There was a time over here in Freo when we were too scared to even use the F word. That's not how I remember it. I remember...
Starting with F, how would you describe the Dockers?
I reckon a good time.
Starting with F.
Good time.
Yes.
Mind you, they've always been happy to use the G word, Jimmy.
Like grand final?
No, not grand final, no.
Goonbag! Come on.
Goonbag, that's the first time I ever learnt what a goonbag was.
Yep.
It's a large cask of
Wine.
Chardonnay. And they just neck it from the tap.
Yeah.
This is from Hamish. Hamish.
Yep.
I thought it might have been the Amish.
Yes.
From Bateman's Hill.
Batman's Hill, yep. There's no E in it, so it's Batman's Hill.
Yeah. You're dead right, Jim. It's quite right. Sammy, I know you put a lot of rubbish on Jim, but everyone in Melbourne should get behind his beloved Roos this weekend.
Well said.
Well, I agree with that, and hear to that. And to do that, we need to learn to clap like him.
Oh, no.
Now, first, I think it's the ferocious, earnest, try-hard clap. Gary? Then sitting back smug as though you've just stroking yourself for that pleased look. Now, we need everyone in the audience.
Oh, no.
We need everyone.
We're not doing this.
Clapping, please, like Jim. Now,
That's enough.
righto. Sit back like that supercilious, smug cocksmack that he is. Just really pleased with himself. Let's have a look at you. Really happy with yourselves. Yeah, that's right. Well done. Yeah.
That's not working.
No. So we need to celebrate, Sam.
Yeah, that's it. That was it.
Sam, we need to celebrate because I remember Jim doing an ad parody way back in the day when the Kangaroos weren't so white hot.
Dad, why did they build the Great Wall of China?
That was during the time of Emperor Nazi Goring. Yeah, it's to keep the rabbits out. Too many rabbits in China.
And Dad, why don't the Kangaroos play Sav Rockamore?
No, son.
I can't even remember doing that.
I can't remember it. That's why it was funny.
Yeah. The old next one?
We do get amusement from our own stuff, don't we? And no one else likes it. I love it. This is from Stella. Have I pronounced that correctly?
Yep.
From Jolly Mont.
Yes.
Foss, happy birthday to Gary for Sunday. It was the old
happy
champ. And we got you a cake, Gary.
We have got you a cake. There it is, Gary.
Oh, nice.
That's for you. I'm not going to throw it. It's okay. That is Dancing Gary. Happy birthday.
Shane, don't be silly.
No.
Don't be silly,
You're just
Shane.
going to make it dance. Look at that. Go, Gary, go! Go, Gary, go! Go, Gary, go!
Shane.
Oh, his head.
Step away from the cake.
It's not going to blow up or anything, is it?
No, of course not.
What fell off then, Gary?
His leg.
Hand.
Hand, all right. And now I've got an idea, says Stella, of how to celebrate Gaz's birthday. Remember when he did Yo Gabba? Do I ever?
Gary,
This is
not
look
yet.
at Here's a man. It took us weeks to get him to do this. There he is, look. This is a man who was protective of his credibility, and he thought, no, I can't be doing this sort of shit. And we pushed him, and out he came. On Grand Final Show, Gaz should dance like that kid in the green tracksuit you have been flogging all year. You mean this kid? Yeah. Now, Gary.
Right.
Yes.
Now, in the name... Look, take one for the team. In the name of the show, will you do that on Grand Final Show? Will you dance like that little fat...
I'm not going to do that.
Take one for the
I'm
show.
not, but I would think about it if there's a Chris Judd bobblehead. Remember that Chris Judd bobblehead?
How enamoured with it. He stole it
There
from
were
the show.
5 of these made ever, and he took it and protected it with his life. If you gave that back to me, I would think about it.
You'd think about it.
I don't
No, I want a commitment. If
No,
I
I'm not-
gave that back to you...
And where have you got it still?
Of course I've still got it. I had that priced. You know, that's one of 5 with his
I
signature
know,
on it.
that's right.
It's worth, they reckon, 15 grand.
Well, you give me that and I'll do it.
Well, I'll give it to you.
Oi!
I'll give it to you.
I'll give it to you, he said.
Howard said, I'm not doing that dance. I'm not. You give me that and
I'll give it to you.
we'll think
just said,
about
I'll
it.
give it to you.
I warrant
We'll
you.
think about it and we'll talk about it through the week.
Gary, you said if you give it to
Dancing like that little fat kid, I'm not dancing.
you and a whole lot of kids on stage doing the dance.
We'll think about it. Shush. Young man.
Shush! Did you just shush the
I
audience?
shushed
Gary, you are doing it. That is ace. GPO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria 3001. If you want a piece of Sam's mailbag, sams.mailbag@9.com.au or footyshow.com.au. Audience here, should Gary do the dance? Gary, this is how it's going to look. Let's go to the break. You get a pay your ears. Come on, Gazza.
How come we do stuff on the show?
Just quickly, I know Brent's upstairs, need to go to break. I reckon we should go to the boys' cell, one of the most respected figures in football. Should Gary do that
I
on
think
Grand?
he should do it.
Peter?
It looked good in the green tracksuit, that's for sure.
Shane?
Yes, please, Gary.
Gary? It's comprehensive.
What gets me is why do we have to plead with you as though we're your servants?
Busy week.
Gary,
It's a
why don't
busy
you
week.
take one
You know
for the
it's
show?
a busy week. I haven't got time to practice that dance routine.
Listen, Hair Bear, you'll do as you're told. We're coming to a break. Damien Barrett's going to join us shortly on the Footy Welcome back to the Footy Show. What an addition this man has been. Dave Hughes, not far away. He has been in sizzling form too, Huey. Speaking of stuff that's not too far away, Big Bill's house ain't far away either. These are the final editions and we can only apologise in advance. Now, The best newsbreaker in football, by that far it doesn't matter. Again, a ripping 2015. Put your hands together for Damien Barrett, everybody.
One of James Hurd's former assistants is a shock candidate for the vacant Essendon coaching job. Brendan McCartney, sacked last year as Western Bulldogs senior coach, is officially one of 4 known candidates for the Bombers and this process they are currently going through. He is a highly respected person when it comes to Essendon. He has developed a very good rapport in that time as an assistant coach of the Bombers with several senior players who are still on the club's list. And the club has officially flagged intentions to have him officially part of this process. Stuart Dew, Scott Burns, 2 other names also part of this interview process. John Worsfold, though, holds the key at both what happens at the Essendon club as well as Adelaide. But officially in the mix, Brendan McCartney, when it comes to being a person of interest for Essendon. Matthew Scarlett, former Geelong great, now officially ramping up and getting very serious with his own coaching aspirations, will officially become a full-time assistant coach beneath Chris Scott there at the Cats. It's a role he had in a part-time capacity in 2015 as he juggled that role with also coaching a team in the local league. Joel, do you see Matty Scarlett being a potential AFL senior coach?
Oh, I do. He worked full-time hours this year, so it probably wouldn't look too different if he was to come into the role next year. But he worked in a development area of the football club this year. I haven't been around the football club to know anymore, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's there a lot more.
Yep. I think it will be development that he does continue in the role as, again, full-time. On to some player movements. Harley Bennell, currently in Perth, as he works out what he does football-wise beyond his troubled times as a Gold Coast son. He would like his future to stay in Perth. He would like specifically for it to be at the Fremantle Docklands, although people around him and people who are very close to him feel it's best if he gets out of his home state of WA and pursue a football career in Melbourne. And Richmond is starting to express an interest in just working out what it does on that front, amongst many other footy clubs. GWS could well have a 4th player to request a move out of the club in the past 10 days. We know that Treloar has done so, McCarthy's done so, and Hampton has also done so. Tom Bugg is the latest player who is considering that option. He is, unlike a couple of those players, he's out of contract. And Heath, do you got any intel on that one?
No, not a lot. I saw him this morning at a cafe, Buggy, but he didn't mention anything. Obviously, he's out of contract, but there's a lot of people that are out of contract, and I think he's working with the club and his manager to try and figure out something, what's best for him and his footy, really.
Yep. We'll take the next couple of days to work it out. Just quickly, Ben Lennon, a surprising omission from Richmond's elimination final team last weekend, having played the final 8 home and away games and received a Rising Star nomination. He's out of contract, and as the Tigers work out who they bring into their setup, it's just going to push his situation just back a little bit and maybe not as much money as he initially thought. So just a little bit to play out on that front. And just before I go, Collingwood's Patrick Karnitsis, one of the Brisbane Lions who exited in 2013, struggled to get a game basically at his time at Collingwood. Now considering though, not just his future in football, but a future should he actually stay in the AFL system. He does have outside interests. Football is not the be and end all for him, and in sometime in the next week to 10 days, we'll just finally determine whether he wants to be part of the AFL system, and there is some doubt about that being the case.
Very nice work, Damo. Brendan McCartney, the big story tonight, a candidate for the Essendon coaching job. Please thank Damien Barrett. Big Gill, part 3 coming up very shortly. This crossed our desk too. We've been keeping a very close eye on your tweets, Heathy Shaw, throughout the course of the year, knowing that you're going to be on the show tonight. You're asked in a player profile the question, who's going to have the biggest impact at GWS? This was the answer you gave. Tom Boyd. You realise he's at the Western Bulldogs, Heathy?
Yeah, probably went a bit early on that
one. He's very good on Twitter, as you said. Now, all the Simpsons, you compared them to your teammates. You did a whole team, which was just incredible. And we grabbed a couple that we really loved. Ryan Griffin, Jimbo Jones, Shane Mumford, Mo Sislak, and Will Hoskin-Elliott, Rod Flanders. You got way too much time on your hands.
Yeah,
Who'd you do that with?
Obviously, I was watching The Simpsons one night with my brother. I didn't give him any credit in the tweet, but he helped me out. Took us about an hour and a half. Full-time football, a bit of spare time there, but obviously the season's finished now, and I had a crack at the doing one for the Footy Show panel as well. Start off with, there's Sammy and Hans Moleman.
You look younger.
Damien Barrett and Millhouse. Big Billy, that was an easy one, Billy and Barney. Edna, Kabubble.
Every time.
Corp, you didn't get away with it.
There you go. That's a winner, that one.
Ralph Wiggum. I don't know anything about The Simpsons, but I'm assuming that's very funny stuff.
No, it is very, very funny. Actually, a bit of some work here from Andrew Bogut said, Gary, you have to do the dance, and I love your eyeliner that you're wearing, he says. You're wearing eyeliner,
I am. Well, from yesterday's parody shoot.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it was a parody.
I can't get it off, Shane, at this stage, but hopefully I'll get off. Hey, we're about to show you the last instalments of a horrific experience called Big Bill's House. We went in there about 3 weeks ago. Now, I set this up, we'd been in the house at this stage, I think about 8 hours.
Minimum.
Well into the early hours of the morning. We were tired, we were grumpy, and Shane was at his annoying best.
Did you have a rule, Force, in any of your marriages where you wouldn't fart in front of your wife?
Did I have a rule?
Yeah.
Were they allowed to fart in front of you?
Did you pass wind?
There was no rule,
Did you
Jim.
pass wind in front of any of your wives?
Not at all, Jim.
So none of them ever heard you pass wind?
Not on purpose.
Yes.
Maybe one squeaked out just in a moment of anxiety or just in
love.
Once or twice, maybe, Shane, as the bishop was about to...
What about if they had some flatulence in front of you? Is that okay?
The women I went out with never had flatulence
They never
in
farted.
public with me. No, they never did.
Ever?
That's why
Ever.
In the whole time you were married?
The whole time I was married, the well-bred and upper echelon women that I went out with never ever broke wind in public with me.
So you've never, like,
Had the Dutch oven going.
done poos in front of each other and had a conversation in the same bathroom or anything like that?
Have I ever had poo in public with the people I've gone out with?
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Yeah, like you're on the toilet and someone walks in the bathroom and you still have a conversation. No? You don't let them in the door? I don't know. I
The
just...
door. The thing bolted. Why would you let someone in the... What are you laughing at?
Because
Why
it's
would
their
you-
bathroom
Are
as well.
you putting up with this?
I'm trying to eat me dinner, and you're talking about having a shit.
No, he's not talking about that. He's talking about having a shit and carrying on a conversation with a loved one who happens to be in the same room as you while you're doing it. That's what he's talking about, Gary. This is not having a shit.
It's not good.
This is just extraordinary.
Frank Sinatra. Off. Add selected. Here. Where's the words?
I don't know, dickhead. They're down here. There we go.
Weather-wise, it's such a cuckoo day.
Come on, up.
Bring it on! You just say those words and we'll beat those birds down to Acapulco Bay.
We only have 2 tasks to go if you do them properly, of course. Hey, how are we going? Everyone up and about and having fun?
No.
Okay, boys, we can go back in the house.
Oh, come on. Fuck you, Shane, you idiot.
If you look around the room, boys, we have nude photos of all the boys. Jim, Sam, Gary, Bill, and even Bill's great-great-grandfather, Sir Anthony. But unfortunately, we have none of Shane.
Yeah, what do you want me to do, nude? Okay.
Look at this. Fucking half-witted man.
You are a fucking dickhead.
Well, I'm just doing the task.
Can you just move my head down a bit? I can see your ass crack.
Jim's gone very silent. I think Jim's firmed up in the jumpers.
I've got to break wind. Sorry, I'll just...
Oh, come on.
Sorry. I got nervous.
So what we're going to do is get 2 of you to critique the other's artwork.
Get out of here! Get off me!
And Shane.
Oh, please!
What happened? Oh.
That is just not acceptable what you did then. That's really late. It's really late.
Okay, eulogies for each other. Gary, you'll be doing a eulogy on Sam and vice versa. And Jim, you'll be doing a eulogy on Shane and vice versa.
Shane, this is about you. I'm going to cry anyway. It's that late.
What do you call a man who's a towering figure at the Hawthorn Football Club? A man whose influence at that club will live on for years after he's passed.
Here.
A man whose name is whispered in hushed tones at Waverley, such is the enormous regard he's held in. You call that man John Kennedy. Shane, on the other hand, is an imbecile. Half-wit. At best, a juvenile toolhead, and thank Christ he's gone. And if he's headed anywhere from here, he's the one with the massive teeth. Avoid the like the plague.
What are you got all over your face? Your mascara's running.
Now look, thanks for coming to this. It's not hard to dislike Gary. Not a hell of a lot of warmth in him. He's a remote man at best. Humorless, yes, but a sharpness of wit that went unnoticed by many. I remember meeting him for the first time and he said, "Listen, you old fella," he said, "follow me and you'll wear diamonds." He said, "I know a bit about this business. I know a bit about this business." He said, "Just watch me, just learn. I won't speak a lot to you," and never did.
I was hoping I would have outlived the champ. I mean, the champ would have outlived me. I would love to have heard what he would have had to say if he was to speak at my funeral. Once you're dead, you're dead. Nothing anyone says is ever going to change that. And that is true.
Party.
I know. It just so happens that what moves and motivates this leviathan of an entertainer also happened to move and motivate hundreds and thousands of fans throughout the country who wake this morning and ask themselves, why? Couldn't this have happened a long time ago? He loves it. He can't do anything without a prop.
Jesus, you're an idiot.
James Bartholomew Brayshaw. He was a friend, and I've written a poem for him today. I miss you, buddy. Like a hole in the head. James Brayshaw is his name. Cricket was his game. Apparently. On the cricket field, he did roam. And he loves ramming the point home. Mr. Bean, you are his twin. Hello. All your jokes belong in the bin. Your running technique needs a lot of work. Rest in peace, you f***ing jerk.
I think that was at 2 a.m. was the eulogies, and then we've got one more, I think, coming up, our final package out of the Big Bill House, which is about 3:30. And
Gary,
I'd have enough by then, Jim.
The heater lives up in Sydney, so he doesn't get to see the show as much as everyone else. No. Heath, first brush impressions of that business there?
Yeah, it's a pretty entertaining house. I don't know how you and me would go together, Crawford.
Feel free to come next time we go in there.
Let me ask you a question, Heathcote. Have you ever had a snack while your partner's been on the carsey? And chatted to her in the cubicle of the same place? While she's straining and wheezing. Have you? Well, that's what he asked me. Some ridiculous question.
It's a legitimate question. I can understand why you want to know the answer for that, yeah.
Is that a legitimate question? We should do a poll.
No,
of our audience, yeah.
We won't be doing it.
No, we won't do a poll.
2 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, that's coming up in a couple of segments' time. We're going to take a break. We've got Almost Footy legend Dave Hughes not too far away.
Still Still to come tonight, almost footy legends that'll make your eyes water. Also, Hughesy dropped by live with a swag of real funny stuff. And we wrap up Big Bill. But sadly, it gets a lot worse before it gets any better. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Audience is going off. It is now time for Almost Footy Legends. Away we go, Joel.
Mate, we're going to start in Adelaide. We've got West Adelaide versus Stadium. And a big grab by Tate Silverlock.
That is high up and above. Now, have a look at this. The goal umpires are running off. OK, they're going off into the game. Just keep your eye on what happens. Bang! Down goes one of the biggest, and they keep running. What are you doing? Go and pick the poor kid up. Watch out! Bang! Oh my goodness gracious, he's okay, that's all right.
And number 3, we'll go for hang time again, and this is Rosebud versus Somerville.
Whoa.
And it's another hanger.
A lovely fly through the sky, up nice and high. Thank you very much. All right, so which one did you like? 1, 2 or 3?
I'll probably
Put you on the spot.
I'll probably go for the last hanger, which is, who is it?
Do you like the number 3? Did you like number 3 with Joel? Yeah. All right. OK, number 3, Earl Weston from Tookarook, Victoria. You are this week's winner. Congratulations.
Thanks to Sportsbet, our weekly winner takes home $1,000 cash, while our runners-up get $500 each. Boost your odds on the AFL and make it a multi with Sportsbet. Thanks to Home Timber and Hardware, our major winner receives $5,000 in gift cards and a toolbox full of $45,000 in cold, hard cash. That's a $50,000 prize. How's that to help you go hard towards the renovation you've always wanted? So, to put the hard back into hardware, go where the tradies go. Home Timber and Hardware.
Yeah, send your entries into GPO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria 3001, or go to thefootyshow.com.au. 1 week to go, Gaz. So a lot of people aren't playing footy this time of year, so make sure you get your cameras out, your phones, and start filming at your local footy match during the finals.
Absolutely. Fire in an entry,
Unbelievable
1
prize.
week, best prizes around, and you could be there on Grand Final Footy Show night picking up the biggest prize of all. Now, Mad Monday we love. For all those teams that don't quite get there, we have our own on the Footy Show, Mad Monday. That's coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Matty Scarlett was the star. He dominated Mad Monday, shaved his head one year and went as Kevin Bartlett, which was above and beyond. Jolie, you've taken over. There's no question about it. This year's effort was lateral. It was Mick Fanning and the Shark. And the Shark was Jimmy. Was it Jimmy?
Yeah, it was Jimmy. He obviously come to me at the time when the event was on, and he said it might be a good idea. Yeah.
Thinking about it through the course of the year.
It does come up through conversation a little bit.
Well, the preparation, Gary, because if you have a look at some of the previous years, this is Sel, of course, as Princess Mary with a real baby, which I thought was fantastic. And then you turned up with Jake the Push-Up King as Jake the Push-Up King, which I thought was absolutely sensational. And then this one we absolutely loved, of course. Gaz on the stretcher, Sel.
Yeah, no, that was the first one. I think that was one of Gaz's jumpers too, so I still thank you for the jumper, Gaz.
And awesome to see you turn up as well, just the other day. Yeah, popped along for a beer, did you, Gaz? Hey, where's Joel? He wanted to have a beer with Joel. Good on you, mate. Well done.
Do it, Heathy, the Giant boys, they get dressed up. I think I saw some pictures somewhere.
Yeah, we had our Mad Monday. Our theme was what you would be if you weren't a footballer. I'm good mates with Kieran McAvoy, and he lent me a pair of East Silks, and I went as a jockey and had an actual whip and was hitting a lot of people throughout the day.
11 o'clock that night, that would have been put to good use. No, it is good fun, and one of these two teams, Jimmy...
What did you mean by that? Yes! I like the way you're thinking, Gary.
I wasn't even thinking it.
Oh yeah.
One of these two teams, Jimmy, will be on Mad Monday on Monday.
Friday, all roads lead to the Triple MCG. Hawthorn taking on Adelaide. Massive game for the Hawks. A rare finals loss for them. Showen Makers and Hartung come into their side. The loss of Gunston is massive. He's a very, very good player. Congratulations to Suckling, who'll play game number 100. Swing over to Adelaide. Very, very good they were. Atkins comes out, Lyons comes in, and our two boys in this game, Rory Sloane and the big Texan Walker, absolutely sensational last week in the game against the Bulldogs.
Before we get the boys' thoughts, we asked last week, and the insights we get from our panel, they take a lot of time and effort. They put a lot of effort into thinking about which way they want to go, and Last week we had Dane Swan, a real student of the game, sitting in Joel's seat, and we asked him who he thought would have the biggest impact from the Adelaide team. This is what he went with.
Yep, I think the Bulldogs play Etihad really well, so they'll win it.
Is that the MCG, Swanee?
Yeah. All right, well then I'll go Adelaide. And my man from Adelaide is
look at this.
R. Atkins. So I expect him to play well.
So R. Atkins then became, we followed him very closely,
We did.
Jim, and he was watching the show back in Adelaide, I think, and he tweeted this straight away. Thanks for the shout out, mate. Hesitated a bit, but felt like you meant it. It means a lot. So R. Atkins got a big pump up, and now the sides come out, Jimmy, and...
Well, Gary,
what's happened?
Prior to him getting left out of the side this week, he was actually subbed out of the game last week. So Swanee couldn't have identified a player that had a worse time of it.
I think he put too much pressure on R.
I think he did.
And he was subbed out, and unfortunately he's out of the side this week. So we feel for the young man, but we know he'll bounce back.
And your man, namesake Lions, he comes in. Hey, Croft.
Hello.
They were unbelievably impressive, Adelaide.
Are you worried about your mob?
Yes.
Well, yeah, they were a bit off last week. West Coast were brilliant. The way they went about it. Adam Simpson knows Hawthorn back to front, really got it right.
But don't say that now. I mean, let's get serious about this. You declared Hawthorn.
You just asked me a question.
You
I
said
thought I would
Hawthorn
answer
were
it.
good things last week.
Well, yeah, and
what happened?
You've never had a bad day?
What happened?
Well, they had a bad day. They just weren't good enough, and they've got a chance to totally redeem themselves this week. Adelaide have been an amazing story this year. I think all of us hoping, that they do extremely well. But I think the Hawks will come out and play a different brand of footy this week. Back on the MCG,
I reckon they were as fit and as well prepared.
That's right. See, that's the trouble with you. You and the Mammoth. You can't see past your side. I, at least, if I don't think Geelong will win, say I don't think they'll win. Because it makes little difference what we say as to how their side
You've
plays.
been saying all year you think Hawthorn will win the premiership.
I told you last week that Hawthorn would get beaten. I tipped, and I'm saying, when it gets to my tip, I'm still saying...
It's not your turn?
Yeah, it's not your turn, so just wait. No, I think Hawthorn will bounce back. I think whenever they have a loss, they always... get themselves going the following week. I reckon. No, I'm not saying
don't
cliches.
speak in cliches, mate.
No, they'll be hard and tough at the footy. A lot of people question their hardness, but they had an off week, and this week I think they'll bounce back.
Have a red hot go,
and they'll win.
Peter,
they'll win.
Yeah, obviously Hawks off last week, and I think they'll bounce back as well. If you keep Betts and Walker to under 4 between them, then Hawks will get the job done.
Yeah, I agree too. I think the Hawks will get the job done, but I think the Hawks will need to, take control of the middle of the ground, something they didn't do last week. But especially if Adelaide get it forward, they got Betts, Cameron, Tex down there, and Josh Jenkins has been kicking a few goals of late too. So Sam Jacobs is probably the most important guy on the ground this weekend.
They're going to take the game on Adelaide. They
Ruckman.
The Ruckman force of you.
Do you like that?
Yeah, no, I did. Well done, Joel. Could I just say the renaissance of our game as we know it will be attributed to Footscray or the Western Bulldogs when its history is defined, because they took the game on this year, and some will say it didn't do much good because they didn't beat Adelaide, but I'm saying to the contrary, it did them a lot of good because they got there in the first place by playing a different style of football from everyone else. So congratulations to them. But to the... Well done to the Crows, who, for obvious reasons, have rised above adversity and are marching on. But, Shane, I didn't think Hawthorn would win last week, but I do think they'll win this week, and it will be a mighty game, and they will know they've been in one.
Why are you having a go at me when I say I think they're going to win this week as well?
Because you just say it no matter who they're playing.
Yeah, and how have they gone the last few years? They've pretty much won every week.
Well, we're only talking about the present, Shane. They got beaten last week, and you blindly went after them.
It's a bit like the rest of them. They're getting a bit snarky.
No. And hopefully they understand that the game starts in the middle of the ground.
You're having a go at
and hopefully they were watching Brad Scott early and they'll work it all out.
Oh, he is. He's a bit
Yes,
snippy.
he is. He's
He's
filthy up over there.
You're not... Do you know what,
I've got a few eggs down here, actually.
You're not smart enough
You're not smart enough to be half smart.
Hey, don't underestimate Adelaide in this. I know history will tell you that the side who finished higher on the ladder bounces back always, but the Adelaide Crows, they play a brand of footy that could trouble Hawthorn and will trouble Hawthorn. Their pace and their ability to move the ball quickly from the back half particularly is going to stretch them. But I'm a massive Hawk fan and I'm a massive Alistair Clarkson man, and he will be savage on it.
Write this down, incidentally. This game has been played at
the MCG.
The MCG. First game in 3 or 4 weeks it's been played.
There was one last Sunday.
I'm not being patronising to the Crows. I think they're outstanding, but I still think Hawthorn are genuine contender.
It'd be 3 or 4. It'd be 3
Shut
weeks
up, Sam.
before they
They will win. We'll take a break. Dave Hughes out next in the last Big Bill instalment. That's up next. Very nice. Hutchie still hasn't acknowledged that the Kangaroos have made the 8. He will shortly, I think. Now, everyone's had their say in the week in footy. It's been analysed to death, but no one does it like this man. He's the best analyst we've ever seen. Please welcome Dave Hughes.
Come on,
What's going on?
It's a pleasure to be here, and it's always great to have Joel Selwood on the panel, champion. But Heath Shaw, first time, mate.
Yep.
And good on you, one of the best in fairers at GWS. You know why? Because he now thinks before he acts, yeah? He used to just act and not think about it. But this is an example. December, a tweet from Heath. Here we go. If your housemate has a friend over and she leaves a necklace behind, is it wrong to take it and give it to a family member for Christmas? I mean, so what happened, Heath? Did Reece get a little love heart for Christmas, or...?
No, it was a necklace left by a young lady.
We assume that.
One of my roommates had over. And I asked my roommate, won't name him, can I take it? And he said, yeah, what are you going to do with it? And I said, I'll give it to my mum for Christmas. And she loved it.
She loved it, and that actually happened.
That actually happened, yeah. I gave it to her.
She might be wearing it right now.
Yeah, she knows the story now.
All right, so well, he thought about it, though. He got some advice, but he used to just act. I mean, you're not a fan of Hayden Ballantyne. You had issues with Hayden in the past. This is true, Heath, I know this. And you at one point you thought, I don't like Hayden, I'm just going to act. Let's see how that went.
I ball that. Brent. Punch me in the nuts. Free kick.
That's you. I don't like him. He punched me in the nuts, yeah? The umpire said ball up, but it was 2 balls up, really. Not just Hayden. You had a problem with Angus Momfries over at Port Adelaide. This is how you acted here. But this got you in trouble. The powers that be. Look at this. Bang. But if you look who's really upset, have a look in the crowd, crunch, and then have a look at Kochie. Oh, come on, Heath. I was going to make you the cash cow, but not now.
They bounced it off Angus Momfries' head. Nice segue into the bounce, which didn't work on the weekend. Are you a traditionalist, bounce the ball to start the game?
I love the bounce. Joel, do you love the bounce?
I like the bounce, mate, yeah.
Yeah, the bounce is good, isn't it? I'm not talking about the TV show, we're talking about the... Yeah, so you love the bounce, but it goes wrong occasionally. Richmond versus North. Jimmy, you would have seen this. This went wrong. This went wrong. That's way wrong.
First one of the game.
That was terrible. I know, that wasn't good and they had to do it again. No. But when it goes right, the umpires love... And listen very carefully here. This is actual audio from the Bulldogs Adelaide game. Listen to how happy the umpire is here when he gets it right.
Ready to go. Umpires Matthew Nichols, Brendan Hoskin and Justin Smith. Beautiful bounce.
Brendan Hoskin got that right, so I think it's worth playing that again. Just say, let's have a go at it, yeah?
Brendan Hoskin.
He was certainly satisfied.
AFLPA MVP during the week, Huey, you would have seen that it was again the star from Freo, Nat Fyfe.
No doubt, absolute champ, and we're all happy that he won. Yeah, he's an absolute star, no doubt about it. But Matthew Pavlich is the president of the Players Association. Now, he did a long speech and he was trying to tell us what he... hang on. He was talking about what he truly believes.
I firmly believe the game remains the world's best. It's the most aesthetically pleasing.
I firmly believe that footballers shouldn't use big words.
I haven't seen that.
Aesthetically, can you say it? Aesthetically?
Yes.
Heath, can you say aesthetically?
Aesthetically?
No.
Just had Brad Scott out here. Massive buzz building.
Was it aesthetic? Was it right? That was correct.
Good.
Or was it athletic? Sorry, I'm sorry, Dave.
Aesthetically, yep. Go, Gary.
That was his setting.
Brad Scott out here, Buzz at Arden Street's building. I think it's all going on down there.
It is building at Arden Street, there's no doubt about it. And they've got some... Well, because of the boom recruits. Jared Waite, absolute superstar.
Brilliant.
Absolute... I've been watching him closely, him and Sean Higgins. Watch him very closely during the week. Just listen to this. I don't want Hughesy to see this. What don't you want me to see? Let's have a look. What don't you want me to see, you two? Oh, yeah, a bit of a boob grab and then in the ear.
Hey, Kel, let's see this. I'm going to have a look at these.
I saw it. Sexy guys. But, you know, how can they go wrong when they've got Nick Del Santo down there and he's taking training? Do you know that? He's been taking training during the week.
I did not know that.
Incredible. And there's no one who knows more about North Melbourne and the home... This is at the home ground. He's taking training at the home ground. Check this conversation out.
What? Go. What's that street out there? Facing this way.
That street over there is Arden Street. Fairly well known Arden Street. But you know what? He's a great guy and you love him. He should stay out on the track where he does his best work. Check him out. I mean, the man can move. He can move. I mean, that is...
He loves it.
He's a smooth mover over that. Oh, the ballet's calling when footy finishes.
Do you give him a chance against the Swans?
I do give him a chance because so many injuries. The Swans have got so many injuries. The depth's been questioned. But you know what? John Longmire, I believe, reckons he's got someone who can play. He's an assistant coach. Let's have a look at this. Stuart Dew thinks he might be ready to go. Here's Stuart Dew coming and he's making a case for himself. Here he comes in here. I reckon I got this, mate. I reckon I am ready to go. I'm a finalist specialist and there is no one who's better at marking the ball than me. I'm hungry. He's a great player.
The other game, Hughesy.
Did you
he
say?
was a great player.
He was a great player.
Friday night, this man used to play for Hawthorn. Are they going to bounce back?
Look, I hope so. They had trouble on Friday night. This is actually their bus heading to Domain Stadium. It's actual bus. This is actual footage. They obviously, West Coast picked their bus driver. This is coming in. Oh, how you going there? How you going? This is how well we're going. Look at that. There goes the... Just check out the security guard. Here. Yep, that's right. Let's go in. Yep. Unbelievable. Apparently, Hodgie drove the bus home, so... Come on! Now, all right. I'm on the Adelaide bandwagon. I love the way they've played footy this year. They've been amazing, and the fans are very excited. They were lining up for tickets to this game. They're lining up for tickets. Have a look. This is at a shopping centre in Adelaide. And I've got a nomination. Father of the Year was on the last guy on the ticket. It's the Father of the Year here. Check him out. It's coming. Father of the Year coming now.
Great. Thank you. Worth the wait, mate? Yes, it was. Yeah, right at the front. Taking my 18-year-old daughter. So the closer the front, closer the boys, the better for her. So.
Father of the Year right there. He's
All right. That'd be well received. Now, listen, Carlton didn't make the finals. I don't want to rub that in, but Richmond did. And
Richmond
you
did.
Like
it was
lost.
very sad to see them lose again. No, I felt for them.
No, you didn't.
But I didn't. But a lesson was learnt by Patrick Keane, who's the AFL man.
Yes.
He's the guy who does the press conference for the coaches after the games, and he tells all media to turn their phones off while they're speaking.
He does.
So one person, in Damien Hardwick's press conference, one person had their phone on. It was Patrick Keane. After he told everyone to turn their phones off, Damien's been asked about the one decision which might have cost them the game. Check out how this went.
I reckon 80,000 people here probably could see the decision. Serious f***ing moron.
They're his words. And I'm not going to say... Look, let's just move on.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, please thank Dave Hughes. He's been a star and will continue to be. So we're on a big final series, Hughes. The gift that keeps giving. Hey, you were part of Big Bill's house too. You snuck in for about an hour.
An incredible situation. These guys are just, they just love each other and it's just beautiful to watch.
Well, what I can tell you with great enjoyment on behalf of Gary and Sam at least, is we're about to go to the 5th and very last instalment of Big Bill's house. This is right at the end when we'd all absolutely had a gutful.
Who's this song for?
This is dedicated to Shane Crawford.
Oh, thank you.
Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason to live.
This is Big Bill.
Yes, Bill.
Okay, boys, now time to get some sleep.
Don't have anyone sit on the lid.
Get comfy.
Get
Sweet dreams.
Just lie on top of it.
Get in the coffin.
I want.
Oh.
No, I'm not shutting it. I'll go across the view. Shut it.
Can little Gary come in with you?
Just don't take this the wrong way, but is that a good fit for you, that coffin?
Don't take that the wrong way.
No. Just asking.
How would you like me to take that?
I'm just asking. I said, don't take it the wrong way.
Are you comfortable in there, Force?
Oh, shit, yeah.
Planning on being cremated, Force, or how's your exit looking?
To be quite honest, Jim, I couldn't give a Maybe, I don't know, just put me out with the rubbish one Tuesday afternoon.
All right, would you rather get eaten by a shark or burnt at the stake?
Burned at the stake, I think, Jim.
Would you?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I'd like a shark to just keep biting bits off until I was no more. Yeah, take a limb and then a leg, come back for the torso.
Shane to the diary room, please. I see you found the costume, Shane.
Yes.
What we're going to do is morning aerobics with Shane.
Wow, thank you.
Wakey, wakey, hand off, snaky. Come on, we've all got to get up and do some aerobics with me. Come on. Everyone, jump out of bed. We're going to have some fun. We're all going to get up and do some dancing. Come on, Gary. Keep on. Come on, follow me. We're just going to get ourselves going early in the morning. Get the arms going up. Arm going up. Arm going up. Arm going up. Fantastic. Freestyle, Sam. Freestyle.
Come on, Jim.
Freestyle. No, you can do your own thing. Jim, freestyle. Jim, freestyle. Gary, bring it home. You can do it, Gary. You're so enthusiastic. Come on, lift.
Come on, big fella. Bring us home.
Look at that.
You're the leader.
Look at that.
1, oh yeah, 2, get it in there, 3, oh, 4, doesn't it feel good, Sam? 5, 6.
Well done, boys. Give yourselves a round of applause.
That it?
You're pretending you're playing the piano, are you? Look at this. What a cockhead. Come on.
Come on, Gary.
Shut up, Gary. Go, Shane.
It's 9 o'clock and 7. Regular crowd shows in. There's an old man sitting next to me.
Oh, gee, it's bad.
Making love to his tonic engine.
I'm doing it.
no more to come. That is it, and we apologise for that. That was about 3:30 in the morning, and we'd had enough force, fair to say.
Very fair to say, Gary, and be very fair to say we won't be doing it ever again.
Well, that depends. Shane, you...
No, I'd like to, and Heath has decided he'd like to come in next time, so well done. We look forward to that intruder right there.
Yeah, the two of you wouldn't be a bad team, that is for sure. We will take a break and try and get over that and start to wrap up what's been a very fine footy show tonight.
Absolutely sensational. Home timber and hardware. Go where the tradies go on sportsbets.com.au. Download the mobile app today. Excited crowd always are, of course. Absolutely magnificent. Now, Street Talk from St Albans ain't far away, but our great friends at Sportsbet. Last week, 10,000 punters were paid out. It's an unbelievable thing they're doing. Place a head-to-head bet on either of the blockbuster games this weekend, and if your team lead at any break but go on to lose, they'll give you back your cash up to $100. That's real cash, not a bonus. Back into your Sportsbet account. Download the app today. And please, Gaz, always remember to gamble responsibly.
Fantastic supporters of ours now. Just a reminder, earlier in the night we had a tweet from Heath Shaw about his routine. He's the best and fairest winner, so this obviously works. What do you normally eat for breakfast? 14 raw eggs. He's come out at age 28, won the best and fairest, and probably going to be an All-Australian. It works. Shane then threw down the challenge to the old Forzilator over here to see which of the two are capable of swallowing 14 raw eggs. The challenge was handed out. Foss, I know him very well. He said he wouldn't do it, but as the show has worn on, he's just gathered himself. Yes. You won't let that little man get the better of you.
Heath, can you go and help Sam crack a few eggs? I'll have a crack.
Right out, 14 eggs. 1, 2... Come on. And this is very good for you, of course. It works.
Oh, yeah. It's high in protein.
Well, it is.
Which
Rocky
is
Balboa did
great
it.
for you, yeah, that's right.
How many world titles?
High in cholesterol, which apparently is really good for you.
What about 7? So there's the 14 in total. That's 7, Shane. 7.
7.
How many is that, Heater?
6.
6. 1
10, 11.
No, 7 each, I said, stupid.
Righto, that's nice.
That's enough.
Over you go, Force.
Righto, out on the disc.
Has he got enough
He's got
in there?
7.
7?
Yep.
Get
Why
out
7?
there, Shane.
We've got Street Talk from St Albans coming up.
Half yours is on the desk. Sugar.
Righto, when I say go...
One more.
Righto.
Just one more.
All right, I'll put the clock on it. We'll put the clock on it. On the count of...
I apologise if I
Hang on, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Do I want to go? No, we'll go together.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Don't be silly. Oh, no. No, Shane. No more. Shane, no more.
Fuck that, mate.
No more.
No more.
No more.
He's bleeding on his face.
Shane, do that out the back.
What's that?
Do that out the back.
I haven't finished, Jim.
Oh,
yuck.
On that particularly disgusting note, we're going to go to a break, but as we go to it, Sam headed out to St Albans for Street Talk. Check this out.
Brad Scott suggested we rest Street Talk last week, so I'd be right on top of my game for the finals. So let's do it. Hey. How are you, sir? Now, come on.
None of your business.
Why not, sir? Come on, and you might be able to tell me.
Because I don't like it.
Well, why not? Tell me why, sir.
I never like you when you play footy.
Well, come on, tell me why you don't like me. I can handle it.
I don't like you.
It's aggressive. It's passive aggressive. If you're in St Albans, this is what you need.
You realise though, just me being on Street Talk this week, seriously.
Yes, will what?
It's going to be awesome.
Alright, you'll get some characters here, alright?
Oh, no.
And as I'm looking into your eyes, mate, I know the seriousness of you looking back at me. And when you do look back at me in that way, this is really life-changing.
Jimmy, we're out to get ya!
Do you think Brad Scott's a genius? Do you know who he is?
No.
He rested 9 of his players on the weekend and they beat the Tigers.
Oh.
You just
Sir! That is actually a car.
I'm going to give you a hug, and with the blessing of my resurgence now, I'm going to give you a hug if I may.
Oh, okay.
May I?
Yeah, please.
You want me to bend down a bit?
Well, that's all right. You don't know how to work a phone either, Sam. So...
Well, I don't have to know. I'm not trying to take a selfie.
That's good. That's good, Sam. That's real good.
No, really just...
I adore you.
I adore...
I watched your footy show and beautiful stuff. Funny, you're a funny guy.
Come and speak to us, sir.
I'm speaking again.
Well, come and say why. Come on.
I'm not understanding English.
Can you spell the word genius?
No.
Go on, have a crack at it.
It's a G.
It's a G.
E.
It's a G-E.
N-U-I-S. G-E-N-I-S.
Is it a double N-I-U-S?
G-E-N-U-I-E-S.
That's extraordinarily close. Gary Lyon says he swears that he doesn't put any colour in his hair to make it black.
It's a grand old flag.
Could you say the same about yourself?
It's a high-flying flag.
G-E-N-I-U-S, I think.
G-U-N-I-E-U-S.
I think it's like that, mate. I don't know. I went to St Albans Tech, mate.
Hey, I met one of your girlfriends.
You've managed to keep the grey in the sides there just so it doesn't look too obvious, although we saw through it.
You know Lydia?
Lydia?
You know your girlfriend, she told me, what's going on, mate? You used to be a stud, now you're not.
Did she say that?
Yeah.
Lydia?
Yeah, she told me, she goes,
What she said, couldn't perform?
Get to the chemist and then get some Viagra.
Women's football team, wow, there we are. Well, that's...
And I ended up on Almost Football Legends. I got flagged.
Have a look at this! Big Amy McCormack!
But I said that, Gary, you're doing very well. Continue to color your your hair like I'm doing my moustache. Thank you.
G-U-N-I-S-S.
Correct, sir.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Now listen. Now, we've just lost a bit of control in the ad break. There's been a fearful egg fight going on, and I'm not condoning it anymore until we get a few things said, and then you can do whatever you want to each other.
Can I give this to Heath first?
That's
for coming
the baggy blue for
It's
Heath.
got a bit of egg on it, but thank you so much, Heath. Well done. I'll shake your hand. Sorry about that, Heath, with that.
Well done, Heath. Now, sorry, it's just Joel. Take control of him for a minute while we get this done.
But I've done nothing.
The phosphate, Jimmy.
Yes, thank you very much to the audience in the crowd tonight. $970 raised, which means the total is now over 30 grand.
Yes.
If you don't mind, 30,787. Breast Cancer Network Australia.
Wait. We want to give a cheerio to Jock, who's down at Simmons Stadium.
Shane.
He's our car parking man. Jimmy looks after us. He's not 100%.
That's enough.
That's it.
Now that's enough. Come on.
Hey, for Carlton, don't throw it, please. Not yet. For Carlton supporters. glasses.
Sorry. Anyway, I think that's all we got time for. Thanks so much for watching the Footy Show, and we'll see you next time.